I was 5 years old when I came to the United States from Argentina. I knew two words in English. They were blue and stop. And now we learn that a 5-year-old boy has been detained by Trump's ICE goons this week in a Minneapolis suburb. This is the little boy. He was coming home from preschool. And if you don't see this as a disgusting national level crisis, you are part of the problem. This is Liam Ramos. Agents stopped him and his father in their driveway. The father ran. Agents stayed with the kid. They had the kid knock on the door of the house to see who else was inside. And the school district now says he was used as bait. That is not activist rhetoric. He was literally used as bait to lure people out of the house. This happened in Columbia Heights, Minnesota. School officials say that at least 4 kids from the same district have been detained this month. A 10-year-old, a 17-year-old pulled out of a car on the way to school. Another 17-year-old and a mom detained in an apartment. Armed, masked agents taking kids out of their lives in the middle of the day. And the Trump administration's line is still the same. They told us this was about violent criminals. Remember that sales pitch that we got, which many of us never believed? First, it was we're going to go after the dangerous ones, the worst of the worst, murderers who are undocumented, gang members, etc. And then it shifted. It became we are going to deport all undocumented immigrants. And now we are here, detaining little kids, preschool, kindergarten, using kids as leverage. I guess it would be preschool, actually, because if the kid is 5 now, we'd be starting kindergarten in the fall. And according to the district, another adult begged the agents, don't take Liam, and they refused. His older brother came home 20 minutes later, found the house empty. Dad gone, little brother gone, 5-year-old gone. They are now in federal custody in Texas. The family's lawyer says that they've been following the asylum process. They presented themselves at the border. They applied. They waited. They did what they were told to do. You don't just come in. You go to the border and you say, asylum is why I'm here. They did everything right. And this is the result. Every single person in the country should be outraged by this. Even if you want deportations of adults who have committed crimes. Even if you want deportations of adults who have committed no crime, but have committed the civil infraction of being here undocumented. If you think the border is out of control, if you voted for Trump, you still should be outraged here. If you see this and you shrug, you are part of the moral rot and indifference that made this possible. Even some media outlets aren't ringing the alarm on this. Every single media outlet should be blasting this story nonstop. Every politician should be asked about this. Every so-called law and order pundit should be forced to explain why is a preschooler being treated like a fugitive? This is cruelty becoming policy. Trump promised mass deportations. He did. He promised millions and he promised speed. But the problem is that to hit those numbers, you can't just go after the violent criminal illegals because there just aren't that many. And so they lower the bar again and again and again, from violent criminals to anyone undocumented. And now we're detaining kids in preschool. This is an administration that have poured massive amounts of money into enforcement. More agents, even one guy nearly 500 pounds wasn't even medically cleared to work. They're like, sure, come train. We're desperate for people. More raids, more detention beds. Agencies told you got to ramp it up. But when you set quotas like that, you don't get the worst of the worst. You start getting whoever you can grab. It's families, it's kids, it's communities that are living in fear. One school board chair said they have whistles, meaning the people trying to protect individuals, and the agents have guns. And you have to ask yourself a basic question. Does the detention of a 5-year-old qualify or count as the law and order that we were told Donald Trump would bring to the table? Or is this what happens when you just build a policy on fear and spectacle, make unrealistic demands about deportation numbers, and then you have to start treating people as disposable and going really, really far with the cruelty? Are there any lines this administration is not willing to cross? And if you've got a preschooler detained, doesn't that cross the line? And if that doesn't cross the line for you, we are in deeper trouble than people want to admit. I would respect these MAGAs way more if they said, I want every undocumented person out, but what they're doing to these kids is unacceptable, and it is a sign of the very moral rot that should terrify us. Disgusting stuff. And there are people, I haven't seen cheering yet, but I haven't looked. There are people defending this as an appropriate way to get the dad who ran. Most scammers rely on information that's already public. Your name, address, phone number, family connections, a lot of that is online and available to be scraped and abused. Our sponsor, Incogni, reduces the risk by removing you from the internet wherever that personal data appears. It works across many types of websites, not just one category. So scammers have fewer ways to piece things together about you. Incogni automatically submits removal requests to hundreds of sites on your behalf. But the standout feature is custom removals, where you find your information on any website, even one not in their database. You paste the link and Incogni's team will get to work to remove it. I can tell you, I've personally been getting way fewer scam and spam calls and messages ever since I started using Incogni. You can accomplish a lot quickly with Incogni. Protect yourself before your data is used against you. Get 60% off when you go to incogni.com/Pakman and use the code Pakman. The link is in the description.